Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at building Tkinter text boxes. So we're going to give the user the opportunity to add some information into a standard input that you would see on a web form and a whole bunch of different places. Some way to gather information, allow them to enter data into our program. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to use our product class. This code is a continuation from previous videos. If you haven't seen those, I'll just walk through what the code looks like really quick. So we have the init function here with all the data for our product class. This is the data that's going to be displayed in our program and also saved to in our program. We're saving it to a Pickle, long-term data storage in a Python Pickle. We used the load products in our previous video here, which just pulls the data from the long-term storage. And then we are going to use the save products after we collect that data from our text box. We're going to save that data to our Pickle. And we're not going to be running our main function over here. Down in our main program here, this is the code that we just wrote for loading our data from the Pickle. So now we're going to find a way to collect data from the user and add that data to the Pickle. So the first thing I want to do is just clearly separate the old code from the new code. So we're going to use this import here, the TK from Tkinter. And this will allow us to create a basic little separator. And we're going to send in the main window. Send in the main window. That way Tkinter knows, okay, the separator is going into the main window. It's going to build all of these elements vertically. So this element, this load button gets built first based on when I pack it, and then this one gets built second, and then this one gets built. And then we want to orient this, we want a horizontal separator just to clearly differentiate. Oh, this needs to be a text string horizontal. No typos, looks good. And then separator. And then we say pack fill on the X direction and pad X. No, this is supposed to be an integer. Pad Y. This is padding. Padding. This is what creates that space, the gaps. So let's run that, make sure it looks good. There we go. So we have some space here, some space there. So now everything that we build is just going to go in this area. So we've clearly separated our application. There's a lot of ways. Frames are another good way to really separate how your application looks. Okay, let's get into building those text boxes. So the first thing I want to do is just build the labels. I'm just going to copy and paste that code. It's not new code. It's very similar to this code right here, where we basically drop the label into the main window, and then we say that's what the label is going to contain. The label is just some text, and then we build it with the pack function. But what's new here is this entry, the text box, the entry. So that's a Tkinter entry, and we're going to drop that into the main window, and then we're going to build it. Oh, wait. Pack. Build it. Build it. So this should drop the label and the text box into our form now. And there you have, we have our label and text box. Now we're just going to pretty much copy and paste this, except we're going to have different names for these text boxes and labels. So this is the product ID label. And then for efficiency, I'm just going to grab the code that I have here because it's all pretty much the same. So we have a price label here. And an inventory label. Oh, and I'm missing the description label. Let's build that really quick. So label inventory. Or description. We're missing the description. That's what I meant. And entry description. Description label. So this should show us 4 different labels here. Perfect. So now we have 4 different labels here. We could add another separator if we want to give ourselves a little bit of space down here, but I'm not too concerned about that. So now we have our GUI elements. So they don't do anything. They're just there. So let's make them do something. And the ideal way to make them do something could be when you type something in, but typically a more standard user flow is to make them do something after a button is clicked. So let's add a button. Let's make them do something after the button. You'll see I have the main loop here still at the bottom too. I wanted to point that out real quick. That's what's keeping the application open. If you don't have that, your application will just immediately close on you. So we're going to add a button here. Self main window. We're going to add it to the main window. We're going to say it says add product on the button. That's going to be what the user sees. And then the command, we're going to leave that blank for right now because we're going to build that function. What does the button do when it's clicked? We're going to add that in just a minute. Add button pack. So this will put the button on the form. Very important. Put the button on the form. Why is it underlined? We have a guest appearance here. Okay, there's our button right on the form. Let's continue with linking the text boxes to the button click. So that's our next step here. Too many blank lines, okay. So we're going to add a new method, define, we're going to call it add product because that's what our button is going to do. Give myself a little bit of room here. Item ID. Some local variables here. Entry ID. So we are grabbing entry ID. So once the user puts information into this entry, we need to use that control. This is the text box that's holding our information. So we are going to reference this specific variable is how we get that information. And we just use the get function here. So this will return whatever's inside that text box into this variable here. Then we have our description, we're going to have our price, we're going to have our inventory. And that's going to be this guy right here, self-entry description dot get. self-entry.price .get and self-entry.inventory. So these are the text boxes. That's what these variables are. These are the variables, the text box variables. And then we run this get method to pull the information out of what's inside the text box. Now we need to do something with this information. What are we going to do? We're going to save it to our Pickle over here. We're going to run our product py save products static method with the data here. So first we need to create a product because that's how the method wants that information. So new product, and then we're going to use these variables. We're going to create a new product class, description, price, inventory. I believe that's how it's organized here. Item, description, price, inventory. It needs to match this parameter order. Looks good. So now we've collected all of that information. And before we save a Pickle with all of our data, we want to make sure we grab all of our old data first. We need to grab that old data and then add this to it. We don't want to override the existing data. So we're going to grab the existing data, product load products, and then we are going to so this pulls back the dictionary. Load products is our dictionary over here. Load products is our dictionary. We can ignore the accept function here. Assume that you have data and we're loading that in. And then add this to the dictionary. So we've built a products dictionary from load. Now add this as a new entry below that, and then we can save all of this information to a new Pickle, which is what our save products function does over here. Writes a binary Pickle file. And then the last thing we could do, oh, and I need to send in the dictionary of our product classes. Yes, a dictionary of our product classes. And then the last thing, we can just display a message box that shows what we just did. So we're going to leverage our message box function here. I had this in the last video and I didn't use it. It was intended for this one. F added, and then we added this new product. And this is leveraging the stir function here. So we're leveraging the stir function. It's going to display all of this data. So let's give this a whirl and see if it works as intended. Fingers crossed. So following in the same spirit of the format here, let's do A004. Price is our description. Oh, I have that label is wrong. Let's fix that real quick. Copy and paste. Okay, did we fix everything from the copy and paste? Yeah, it looks right. A004, description will say, let's go in the same spirit. We got a red, blue, let's go with a yellow widget. Yellow widget, and then price will be $13.99, and then inventory we got a lot of them. We got 60. All right, let's see. Add product. Oh, that's right. We got to create what the button does. That's the last step here. So we have add product. So just like we did with display products, add product needs to be added to the button command. Command equals add product. Whoops. That's not supposed to be a string. That's supposed to be self.addProduct. And now we've linked the button to this method. So now when I click that button, it runs this code here. The code that reads the text boxes, creates the product class, and saves it to the Pickle, and then displays our result. So let's do that again correctly. A004, description, yellow widget, price $13.99, inventory 60, product. There we go. And we can see we have all of this information tied to it. And now when we load products, we should see our new product here. A004. Perfect. So hopefully that was a nice little demonstration of leveraging text boxes with a button event, button click, and also using some object-oriented programming, static methods, pickles, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.